Tyler, what's up? I still have the damn sneezies and the runny noses. So the last time we talked, I was probably sneezing a little bit, runny nose. Still got it. Dennis, here's your Bojack that I clear coated. Just so you know, I didn't forget. Rich, how goes it? What's the weather like up in Pennsylvania? Morgan, it is awful, dude. I don't know what the damn deal is. I'm getting sick of it though. Uh, Dayquil? I try not to take any medicine. I don't even like Tylenol for headaches. The only thing I take is uh, baby aspirin, so I don't get any more blood clots. But AJ's here, Travis Stearman. Howdy, gentlemen. Wendy. Some of you might notice I have a little bit of a tan. Oh, I did, Dennis. And that one's tricky. Hello, howdy. Um, that one's tricky because it's yellow over black, and you have to have a really heavy pigmented yellow because that yellow kind of turns green over the black, and you need the right yellow. And the thing also, the other difference is their stencil that they use for the bars is really tight to the bait so they can spray heavy. So I typically, if I'm doing bars, I'll use some type of comb or something like that. I don't have like a template I would lay over the bait that would fit that close. So that would allow me to spray heavy. Um, so I don't know how that would work. That would take a little bit of like as stupid as it looks and like easy as it looks. It's a little more complex in how you lay the paint down. Um, so I actually have the I have the matching Rogue, Dennis. I have the matching Rogue, the color we're talking about. So yeah, in order to get that, you would either have to do one of two things. You would have to spray a very heavy pigmented yellow over that, or you would have to spray white, then yellow, which I don't think they did here. I just think those old ass lacquers and single stage paints or whatever they're using was very pigmented and just good paint. Um, but I don't know. AJ, you got any thoughts? Can you paint that for me? Kidding. Jeremy, I think that might be a Strike King. But like I said, the Strike King was made by Sisson. Um, and for the longest time, I always said Sison. I always thought it was Lee Sison, but apparently I am incorrect. His name is Lee Sisson. Um, but yeah, I don't know that there's a lot out there on the Sisson brand. I've never looked a whole lot. Rich, the family's good. The little baby she had a little bit of crud, but she's doing better. I'm the only one that still got shit. Tape it off, AJ. Come on, bro. You want me to tape all these lines off? Are you nuts? Send me some 1/8" masking tape and I'll consider it. I don't use sticky stencils like the rest of you new generation of painters. You use those? I know a lot of people do. Ray Willett, what's going on? S for shit. Sounds about right. I tried to paint a reverse chartreuse black back where the chartreuse is on the back and had to lay down white first to keep the chartreuse from being too green. Correct. But then, if you're not using a very accurate stencil that's cut for the bait, you tend to get some, and you don't spray at the exact same angles and pressure, you'll get some overspray. And you'll be able to see a little cheater. Let's see what we have here. It's a little note. Did you clean it up, Jeremy? Hey, AJ, look what this asshole sent. He's probably watching. And he knows he's not an asshole, so I can call him that. He probably took him out of the box I sent him as a damn FU. Wow, these are ugly. Oh, these are special spa baits. Oh, this is fun. Wonderful. I love spraying over. Saw someone this weekend with one of your shirts at Lay Lake. Blaine Smith. Was it in the high school tournament? AJ, look at this thing. It's a 25th anniversary. It's fancy. And I get to cover it up and ruin all of its collectible value. Juniors, yeah. That was Blaine. I grew up fishing with him. His daughter fishes for Saraland, I believe. Were you fishing that tournament, or were you fun fishing on lake? AJ, why don't you cut all your stencils? If you're cutting stencils on a Cricut, whatever you want to call it, why don't you cut it out of adhesive frisket and just stick it on your bait, and then you can, then the possibilities are endless. Let's see what's in here. Oh, wow. Look what we have here. You're working. Look what we have here, AJ. A bunch of baits. I don't know what is going on. Oh, look, even more collectibles that I get to open. Hey, how fun. So, one of my best friends runs the Bass Nation Trail and asked me to run a fish care tank. How about that? That was a nice gesture. I don't know what it is lately about me or what, but everybody that has sent me baits has put hooks on them. Oh, you can only use it once? I thought some of that stuff was you could use multiple times. I don't know. I've never messed with it. Well, Ray, then that means one T-shirt did its job. How about that? One T-shirt. So if you saw it, that means other people saw it. Blaine was worried about that tournament. He'd never been to Lay Lake. Like he could probably told you some stories there, Ray. Probably good you didn't. I've literally known him since I was like in kindergarten. He actually got into painting a little bit back when I first started. He got into it a little while thereafter. He thought it was cool, and he got to where he could do pretty decent. I think he sold all of his stuff. Yeah, that's what. It looks like they've been low um, at Lay last couple weekends, but like luckily, um, like when I was in school at Alabama, I got to fish up like the Coosa and all that kind of stuff, and up around Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, even up towards like Guntersville and places like that. I got to go up there and uh, fish, and I fished tournament trails over there. Um, so he always fished down here, and he'd never like for him he never had a reason to go up there because he just fished all the stuff down here. But uh, oh, but if you're wondering why my face is so red, I actually went fishing last weekend, but not for what you would expect. Trout, speckled trout, and redfish were on the menu. Ray, I got hosed on the redfish deal. So we went out fishing with pogies down in Apalachicola. Pulled up to this little, waited for the tide to get up. Pulled up to this shallow, reedy stretch of bank. I'm not I don't typically throw live bait. I'm not. It doesn't appeal to me. Um, I just don't enjoy it, even for specks and reds. Uh, I much rather get it done on. I can do that, Travis. Um, I just don't like. I like fishing artificials. That's live. Like throwing a damn pogie out there really does not get my motor running. So I I do. I get my little grubs out. I actually took Morgan. Believe it or not, we pulled up in this one riverbank. Oh, I was telling you about the redfish thing. So we pull up, and the dudes on the back throw their pogies out on the uh, on the edge of the weeds. Dude, it's not 2 seconds and they're both hooked up. And I'm throwing a spinnerbait with a like a redfish spinnerbait. It's like a safety pin with the number 5 gold Colorado and a little grub on the bottom. And dude, I am getting like they catch like 5 or 6. And finally, we're about to leave. We're about to put, because the limit's only 4. So we're about to leave. Everybody, we got a limit of reds. And I throw, and I finally get a bite and catch one. And we go the next day and do the same thing. And I had one bite, and it missed it. And everybody else was going, "Oh my God, these things pull so good." And I was like, "Damn it!" But I hosed their ass on the specs. They could not hang with the grub man. They couldn't bait their little hooks fast enough. And the thing about it was they were using basically like a Carolina rig to a pogie. And I think their weights were too heavy because I was throwing like a really light jig head and the current was really heavy. And I never had to like touch my jig. I was probably throwing a 1/4 ounce head. I actually don't know what it is, but I'm guessing it was in the 1/4 ounce range. But I could just throw it down the bank and drift it down. And it would get down there and it would go, and I would catch keeper speck. And I think they were up higher in the column than what they were fishing. So their baits were going straight to the bottom, and mine was kind of floating up above them. And but an interesting thing that I saw was we're like right in the, I mean, it's pretty salty. We're catching sheep's head, specks, redfish, croakers, like anything you can imagine, salt wise. And the dudes in the back started throwing shrimp, and they probably caught 10 bass off of this speck hole. And that really surprised me because like my dad called like a 10-pound sheephead, big ass sheephead. But I wouldn't have thought that those bass would have got down there and lived with a big school of trout and redfish and other stuff that could probably eat them. But they didn't seem to mind. It's very odd. And they were in like 8 feet of water on a riverbank. It's very strange. Very strange. All right, we got those. We got those. Those. We got another group of chads I have to do. This guy bought 5. I had to dig the stupid eyes out. Casey, what's up? Rich, I will run my boat in brackish water. I wouldn't be a huge fan of taking it out in the bay, but I'll take it down here on the causeway where you can catch saltwater fish. It's brackish, but it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. Hose everything down, and you're good to go. Started off this morning sandblasting DRTs because the clear coat doesn't stick on them. The chads are getting out of hand? Really? Still? Yeah, these are going to be fun to mask off. These will be fun to mask. these things. Marty Burns, Builder Dude, what's up? Ray, I'll have to check it out. All these little prop things. Three prop baits. Seems like an odd number. Did I miss one? Let me see.
I gotta go to the Lowe's and run out of prop.
Okay.
You need anything?
See if they have adhesion promoter.
What?
Adhesion promoter?
Adhesion promoter.
Yeah. I have to paint a Polaris Ranger today. Possibly. That's the story anyway. Ray, I'm not really sure what it is. It's either, I didn't know, it is a Black Label. Yeah. Black Label prop. Unfortunately, I don't like the way this one spins. It needs a cap on the front. This one spins freely. This one gets kind of hung up. This one spins pretty good. That one spins pretty good. I don't know. That one spins pretty good. This one's got a little extra wire sticking out though. I don't know what the deal with the Chads are. Dude that sent me these told me he didn't want clear coat gooped up in the joints. It has a nice looking profile. It's kind of thin. A lot thinner than I would expect. We got Burns baits coming. We got Burnsy baits coming. The 1.5s, which is a damn badass running bait. All right. These require a little, they require a little different prep for the metal to stick. And I will say, whoever makes these, I forget the guy, this might be a Binsky, but whatever he uses as an adhesive for his eyeballs, he's got a hole drilled all the way through the eye socket. So when he puts glue or epoxy, whatever, in the hole, he sticks, maybe he sticks this eye in, puts a dab of glue, and then sticks the other glue, and the eyes like bond to each other. Dude, these things are impossible to get out. You have to drill them out. I tried to like flake them out, like flick them out. No. And then I'll typically take a mix up an epoxy primer for these, so we get a good bond to the metal. South Jersey, what's up? What else do I have to paint? 4 TKs. Oh, look at these little guys. 5 Chads. Bunch of warts. And this stuff. We gotta be careful with these little bastards. They'll hook me. Because these hooks are insane sharp. Lake Fork Trophy had a grand reopening over the weekend. Scored a bunch of old baits and brand new McCain rods marked for $50. What's a McCain rod? What's a Chad? These. I'm not the biggest fan of those. I don't care how they run. South Jersey, you see the latest gossip in the swim bait world. Another swim bait builder taking pre-order money and not delivering when they said they would. When will these guys ever learn? Never, apparently. Powell rod equivalent with better hardware. Sounds like something I'd be interested in. What are they still available? And what kind of old baits are we talking? Jeremy, that was the I didn't I don't want to I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth, but I want to say it was the Swimbait Garage gentleman, which I don't even know who that is, but is that brand still around, Casey? I don't know why these guys can't just build the damn baits and sell them. Why is that so hard? Ooh, secret ship. That's what I like. That's the thing. That's what sucks, though, is all the good business you do, all it takes is once, and all that shit gets flushed down the toilet. But luckily, no shit, Morgan. I'm such a friggin' idiot. I like work my ass off to like build shit, then sell it. When apparently you can just take people's money and they just give it to you, and then all they do is like bitch a little bit when you don't deliver. Yep. I never understood it. The thing about it is, though, is there's tons of like legit dudes out there. And I guess some people are just gluttons for punishment. But like you said, South Jersey, maybe you had something going on. Hella, did you have any sniffs? Did you hit a dock with it? Dustin, I haven't weighed my old crusty one. I need to. Marty, I thought that. But in the swim bait community, you get about a dozen redos. It's amazing. I think any other business you'd be cooked. But the swim bait world is a very forgive and forget community. Or there's just so many people that don't know any better that it doesn't matter. I don't know. Didn't break. That's good. Hella, I was your bait was the first one that I noticed. So if you twitch it real hard and it turns all the way back around away from you, like if it glides backwards, and you just let it sit there rather than try and twitch it to make it turn around. If you just let it sit, it corrects itself. It's pretty amazing. Yes, it turned itself around. That's cool. Sit and spin, yeah. But it's cool. It's really amazing how I guess you'd call it hydrodynamics and all that kind of stuff works, where like water catches that joint and like bends it and then moves it back around. Pretty wild. I guess it's the floatiness also in the tail that moves it that way. But pretty interesting. Morgan, you got a prototype? A prototype? Sit and spin. Were they biting at all? Hella, did you catch them on your normal stuff? Or was it tough all around? Instagram was acting up. Fished a derby the day before, got 7 keeper bites all day. Wow. That's pretty sorry. Uh-oh, Marty, you better watch out. Dennis the Menace, throw him some, send him something he can throw on a spinning rod in a creek for his native smallmouth. All right, the next challenge is I have to get these little bitty beautiful Duo Realis eyes out of this hole and save them. South Jersey, sorry to hear about dog. My dog is just about deaf and blind. If Marty nails this bait, it could be bad news for the fish. Burns, have you nailed it? That's what Morgan says. I need a hook. I need a hook. Marty, they do. They do. A little thing called the huddle bug. I brought some baits down to the saltwater to experiment with, but the more I fished, the more I realized that I didn't want to deal with saltwater fish and treble hooks. So I had painted all this stuff for me to take, and I said, I think I'm gonna leave this at home. He says it looks pretty good in the tub. Uh-oh. So these go pupil down. I don't think I ever heard of people catching fish on the hood bug. I think there's been a lot of fish caught on the hood bug. Dennis can tell us. Hood bug catches them, right? I crushed the barbs on all my saltwater treble hooks. Screw that. That's what I was. South Jersey, the more I thought about it, I was like, I might put single hooks on these. Because I had a lipless bait I wanted to throw, and I had a crankbait I wanted to throw. But I didn't want to handle a fish with trebles. Because you're catching so many, typically. I didn't want to have to deal with that. Because if you get the ticket and they get to biting, it's like crappie fishing. You're about to start hammering their ass. All right, 2 down. That and some lip grips are key for saltwater fish. Oh, mainly with them fishing or strippers. Yeah, that would have probably been handy to have down there. The lip grippers. I'm really thankful for Duo not super gluing their eyeballs in. They use that Strike King adhesive. Okay, 3 down. Jeremy, I would think that would be the fun of creek fishing, so you could get your little micro pole out there and snatch them. You don't like that? Like I'll do that from time to time when we go go down to Apalachicola in the salt, I'll take an ultralight, and when you start catching like little rat reds or like little small specks or something like that, tie like a little grub on a or like a little voodoo shrimp or something like that. Throw it on a ultralight. That's fun. That's fun. Because conventional bass gear is it's a little heavy. Um, so it's a little heavy. One more, we'll have all the eyes out, and then it's sanding time. Damn spy baits. .6 UL 6 pound line, ton of fun. Creek smallest. I can see that. TK, did you see that guy asking 950 for that elude rat? 10 rat and a sneaky rat. I didn't. Like that. Oh no. I actually painted this one and the guy chipped it. And I have to try and fix it. Right there. This is from before they were. Another guy sending me stupid ass hooks. I don't know what's going on, dude. He's got, of all things, triple split rings. If doubles aren't enough, you get triples. This is a $600 rat these days. It's pretty excessive. Doug Hayes, what's up? You been fishing? Later, Marty. My favorite fly fishing is small, high alpine creeks with a 3-weight. Well, you sound like a real cork sniffer, AJ. I bet when you're doing that, you're not drinking your bushes. You're drinking your fancy IPA, triple distilled, whatever. You have your little whiskey glass and your fine your bottle of Pappy you take with you to the high alpines. All right. Uh-oh. Damn it. Later, Instagram. No? No? Is it still there? Just got a call. Going to the Delta in the morning. Hope it don't rain too much. Nah, Doug. It's supposed to be juicing. Let me get let me end Instagram. I'll see y'all. Let me take this call, see what the old man needs. Damn it. Hey.
You Know anywhere else you might get that adhesion promoter?
Where are you at? Lowe's?
Yeah, I was at Lowe's out at Tipples Corner.
You already leave?
Yeah.
I know O'Reilly's down the road has it.
O'Reilly's, come out, okay.
Where you just came from?
Yeah, hell, I can go to O'Reilly's. I'm at Demetropolis.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just take a left. There could be a O'Reilly's somewhere out there on Government Street.
Yeah, it's in a red can. Duplicolor makes it.
This is spray.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 10 sold.
All right, probably need about 3 cans of it.
Okay.
10-4. See you. All right, I had to get the have some plastic on the Ranger. We have to paint. I'm thinking that's going to be my afternoon project. A real trout bum. Morgan, have you seen the cost of Bulldog? It's $28 a can. Doug, I don't think it's going to rain that much. I think you'll be safe. I don't know. I haven't seen the value in Bulldog. It's always been the gold standard of an adhesion promoter. Fraser, I've already pulled the eyes out of 5 Chad Shads. I've dehooked this elude rat. I'm about to pull the eyes out of this thing. I'm about to sand these Black Label prop baits. I'm about to sand this Sneaky Pete. I'm going to start sanding all these wiggle warts. And then I'm going to start prepping these blade baits. And then I'm going to start prepping these spy baits. You should have Pops call during all streams to bump up the YouTube numbers. That's a good idea. Jeremy, I don't think much about the bait. I think it's probably as ugly as you could make a swim bait. I mean, it's pretty horrific looking. I don't like these little twisty hook hangers. I don't like anything about it, but I think it swims pretty good. I don't know. Brandon, you like those? I painted some a while back. I have to get the get these. I don't like the beady little eyes on them. Yeah, I think for like a, I don't know how much these cost. It does sound good. It does sound good. I'll give Mr. Elude that. Actually, Brandon, I used to throw a blade bait down here in the south in the summertime. Quite a bit. I'll start with sanding on this glide thing. Those people shouldn't be trusted. Doug, you going middle delta, upper delta, or lower? Hella says Instagram users, Instagram live viewers are like farts. Can never trust them. Around 12 mile. You gonna fish for specks or you gonna fish for bass? Joey Correa, what's up, dude? How goes it? Long time no talk. Silent but deadly. Bass, I hear you. The only fish. South Jersey, what do these cost these days? Here's my pricing guide. Jeremy, I was trying to figure out which if that was after the OU game, because I figured Hallman would be on suicide watch. Because if it was, sure, I wouldn't have thought he would have even done a live post that game. I don't know if any of you guys follow college football, but I'm pretty sure UT beat Oklahoma 49-0. 30-ish. I'm from the UK and fish for perch and pike with laws, but would love to strike a bass. Ah, Frazier, how awesome is it that we can sit here and all conversate? Hella up in the Northland, Jeremy up there in the center part of the world. Travis over there in Kansas. We got Frazier in the UK, perch jerking. That's awesome. I think that's the coolest thing about the internet. Y'all's perch over there, Frazier, get real big though. They have like, y'all got like jumbos. Correct? Oklahoma had their ass handed to them. 5 pound. That's big. Frazier, do you eat them? You put a little batter on them, beer batter on those perch? I know I would. Sometimes. What's your favorite fish to eat? Brandon's out of Virginia? Only the big ones. Oh, hello. We had a comment over here from one of the Instagrammers that says, "Guys that cut hats into visors have small feet." The UK record is 6 pounds 3 ounces for perch. What's the biggest pike you've ever caught? I think the biggest pike I've ever caught was called a chain pickerel, and it was about 6-pounder. Hey. All right, let's see here. I need some scraps. Favorite fish has to be trout. 14 pounds. That's a big one. I assure you, my feet are not small. Other things maybe, but he's got a size 13 in the Nikes. Hell, did you play sports? When I watch you fishing, you look like you could have been a linebacker. You're pretty wide. Pinch is a different fish. There you go. I don't even know what I want to start with. There's too much. It's too much. Played guard and inside linebacker. Also played volleyball. I kind of wish Hella would have fell in the water the other day. He's an athlete, so he caught himself. He has good balance. Hella, how does it feel for your community to watch your video, and people are secretly wishing that you fell in the water? And this comment says, maybe with his phone in his pocket. Damn. Hella, have you created... are you at war? Pete was way more graceful. Poor Pete. You wonder, though, if Pete wouldn't have taken a fall, if he would have, how that would have affected his day. If he wouldn't have fallen in, would Pete have had 24 pounds? Here you go, Instagrammer. My phone is very water resistant. It once sat in the river for 3 days and worked for years. He's a swamp texter. He's got the Samsung. Hella, I think that would qualify as waterproof over resistant. Tench are a cyprinid, so more closely related to a carp. Interesting. Do you catch those too? Do they bite the same thing? Hella slipped on over to Instagram to deal with his bully. What do you think about the new 10 rig series they started on the Delta? Doug, I haven't even seen it. How am I so out of touch? What's the qualifiers? Or what's the restrictions? If you watch it, Peace also lost a rod or two and didn't even know it. They still down there? Did he not realize that they were gone? I've made phone calls on my iPhone from the deepest depths of the ocean. Y'all are funny. Yeah, with a float with worm, maggot, corn, or bread. How do you keep bread on your hook? You have to make it into a, you have to mix it with something? Like I said, I'm a total novice when it comes to Fraser night fishing. He's in a different world. You press it on. No additives. You have to use like sourdough, size 16 hook. Just has to be an aluminum boat. Doug, do you have an aluminum boat? What is the purpose of this? Oh, I saw that. Sliced white bread. My dad, Fraser Knight, he took some corn and he bought this. It's like dye, fluorescent fish dye, and he dyes his corn pink. See, Rich? The carp fishing in the UK is no joke. The baits they use is crazy, and I have no clue where they get so many damn live worms to mix with bait. Fake pink corn sometimes. Interesting. I actually still have some of that corn. I'm scared to open it because it was supposed to go in the refrigerator, but it got left on top of the refrigerator in there in the kitchen, and it's still sitting there. This man doesn't like carp fishing. Yeah, what time it is? What time is it in the UK? Just lures and fly fishing. Man after my own heart. He didn't like dicking around with those worms. You feeling lucky, South J? A good starter bait? A starter glide bait? Probably a shine glide. Or one of these sneakies. Something like that. Or maybe one of these. Hello, my sweet. Uh, I hear a lot of people talk shit about the trout, Jeremy. Sorry, E. I just show off the big glider. This should make you feel better. Uh, I feel like I'm gonna break. It's very dainty feeling. Fraser, we actually use yes, lots of spinners. I'll show you the most popular one down here. Like this. Use that down here. Typically, guys will be throwing these type spinners, correct? Austin loves the Hinkle trout. I hear a lot of people talk shit about the Hinkle trout that it swims like, as my buddy Josh would say, a dump truck. A lot of guys prefer the older Hinkle trouts due to the different sink rates, but I think the slower sink is better. MEP size 3 gold. Yeah, I think when you get to baits of that size, baits of that magnitude, it doesn't really matter what it does. Like if it swims a little bit, a fish is going to come look at it just because it's so giant. I believe that's called drawing power. But I mean, the Hinkle trout was in its own. It was in its own world. You know, back in the day. And still, there's not as much like readily available in that size category as the Hinkle trout. And it takes, you know, specific gear to be able to throw it. Like it's not like the stuff that's out now that you can typically throw on something you might have laying around the house. It's very specific tackle you would need to throw a bait of that magnitude. But I think just because when it came out, it was so big. Exactly, Hella. You can throw the native gill with stuff you've got laying around the house. Because I'm not going to go buy enthusiast tackle to throw one bait. But Brandon threw very nicely on a 764C Dobbins. It's good to know. Brandon, yeah, it will be interesting to see. They say the new one's going to glide wider, which I thought was kind of interesting. I don't know. don't know. The most interesting thing to me will be to see what it does to the resin bait sales. If they remain the same, if nothing changes, it will be interesting. Big Bait Bailey, what happened to that guy? Yeah, what's it supposed to be, like $59, $69, $79? Sean Lai, where you been hiding, bro? Whose other stream did you just jump from? Just creeping. I'm all about some creepers. I've been a lurker my whole life. Just get on those message boards on Bass Boat Central and Bass Fishing homepage. Never post anything, just lurk. But I have all the guys' names memorized, where they're from, what they fish for. I can tell you all the like shit about them, but nobody would ever know who I was because I'm just a creepy lurker. Look at it and look at it and look at it. Tim, I can see that. Have you ever heard of Merrill Harper? Swear he makes one of the nicest crankdowns out there. Swim wise and performance, he's almost like Pat's, but I think he stopped making baits. Merrill Harper. No, that name does not ring a bell. What part of the world is he from? What is his material, South J? When do those Spro swimmers get released? I wonder. Okay. What's next? Chad Shads. Let's get these losers painted. Sanded. January. The Spro Chad Shads were supposed to be out like a month ago. Sounds about right. In true swim bait fashion, they'll be out in September. Just kidding. Oh, I got a collaborative email today. Probably, I don't know if it's real or what it means, but they sent me an email and I had to have it translated. And AJ, they actually probably did to distributors, or the distributor probably did. So, November release date. So who knows? But sounds scammy. Yeah, it might be. But the company is real. Let's see. See if I can find that. I responded just to see what they say. Oh, they did have a pre-order. Did you give money, Sean? But the name of the company is Toyo Steel out of Japan, and they're a boutique like toolbox company. I would love for them to send me one of their boxes if they wanted it promoted with fishing lures stuck in it. Um, but I was actually following them on the gram, but I hope it's legit. TK, did you notice the swim bait market has pretty much tanked? Looks like the damn Great Recession of baits you can buy shit for a steal now. Which ones in particular, South Jersey? Somebody commented earlier how much the Chad Shads were going for. What baits have you seen go for a steal that were typically not a steal? Stray Rats, Bass Brains, KGB, Sneaky, Elude, Hinkles, KRR. I haven't noticed. I have not noticed. I feel like that typically happens after the gathering. In my humble opinion. There's a guy selling a Bass Brains Glide for $70. They were usually going for like 130. Maybe it's oversaturation. I think a lot of guys, I think you get a lot of sales just in general from people that, as they say, are betting on the come. And you get a new bait, and I think people will buy them just to sit on them in hopes that they triple in value, which is not a terrible idea. Um, but the market is flooded for sure. Luckily for me, I don't have all my eggs in a swim bait basket. I also like conventional stuff. I think when COVID was at its peak, people weren't making as many baits, and ever since it's gotten better. The market has gone down a bit. Yeah, I mean, I mean, you've got to. It's all about. You've got your guys that have social media and have all this stuff, and they know nothing about what goes on. So you have an initial spike of like whatever bait, say a Hinkle spike in the internet world. Well, then that trickles down and it might go down. But then it spikes in the non-social media world in the word of mouth world, and then those people start going after them, and then you see another spike go up from those guys. So uh, it's all about which market is searching. And typically, the guys that don't have social media are the guys with the very large wallets that buy shit for like $800 on eBay because they have no other way of getting stuff, right? They don't know who Andrew Hinkle is. They don't care. They don't know what Facebook is. They know what it is, but they don't know what like Swimbait Universe is. They don't know any of this stuff, nor do they have the time. But what they do have is the resources, fat wallets. So if they see something and they want it, they don't they're not gonna like search for a deal. They're just gonna buy it and it's over. And then it starts all over again. Oh my god, did you see that Hinkle bait sold for four of them sold for $700 a piece? Um, so I think for the most part, like the swim bait stuff, you can still like get your money out of it. Um, if you want to. AJ, I'm starting it right now. You want to come on? South Jersey, what baits did you lose money on? AJ, I can't have you on as the first guest. Sean Lyon's going to be the first guest. And he's going to get to tell me everything I'm doing wrong because he is the aficionado of bass fishing talk. He's seen and heard it all. You're painting, AJ. Danny's Kitchen? How goes it? Yeah, if Sean shows up, you're living right. I lost mine on my Rafa and Elude gas rat. How'd you lose money on your Elude? But I guess you only lose money if you sell it, right? I think. Sean, you certainly should have. They were going for like 170 or 80 in the beginning of the year. Now I can get them for less. than retail or like dollars more. Why do you think that is? And why didn't you keep it? Sean, did you keep your blackout in a in the package, or are you going to fish it? Oh. It's not a bad idea, Sean. It's freaking hot in here, dude. Every time I start sanding, I like break out in a sweat. Sanding is a hot job. It sucks, dude. It's the worst. It's the one thing I would farm out. It's the one thing I would farm out that I wouldn't trust anyone else to do. I feel like I could teach somebody to paint more than I could trust them to prep a bait. I think it's because Elude has been pumping baits out this year, and the fact, like I said, is everything is linked down. Get it back and see the 80 grit. I love some 80 grit. You're probably right, though. But paint sticks to 80 grit. We wouldn't have to worry about the paint coming off. It might look like ass. But that paint ain't going nowhere. Diggy D. As my daughter would say, what doing? I'm over here just sanding my rat, as the kids say. What about 316 stuff? I noticed the last time Mickey did the freestyle gills. Back in the day, those were immediate sellouts. They didn't seem to sell out immediately. Do you use UV or air drying finish? I use a 2K urethane clear coat for my final finish. Yeah, it's sanded. A little spot I missed. but I use a two part, so it's neither UV nor air dry. It is chemically uh, cured with a hardener. Check out the Raid GI Impact. It's a killer little crank down. The vibration or thump gives it off very similar to a crank, but it's actually pretty small. Only 3.5 inches, 4.5 inches. Raid. I like Raid. They have cool looking stuff. They're when I saw their well, I don't have one in here. When I saw this bait of theirs, which this is a blank that I painted, but when I saw it, I thought to myself, this looks like if I made a lipless bait, this is what it would look like. Like it has similarities to the native gill. Um, and it's like, well, that's kind of cool. If I make a production run bait, everybody's gonna say my shit looks like Raid. But I mean, you can kind of see the similarities, right? Has Raidish vibes. But mine was made before Raid, so Raid can eat a dick. Might not have been out in the world, but it was designed first. Um, oh, AJ, check this out. So I've been tinkering with how do you think China decides? It's always some obscure shit. Yep, because then nobody will notice, except for like 14 people. Um, I've been experimenting with foiling. Actually, I just experimented once, but this is a kind of a coppery foil. How about that? Just some weird paint job that I did. But have you ever tinkered with that, AJ? I'll give you a tip if you ever feel like it. Free of charge. This one's like a black nickel, but it turned out pretty good. Turned out pretty good. It's flashy, so mission accomplished. It looks chromy, or it looks foiled. But so if you read on the internet and the temperatures that people tell you to press baits with is bullshit. It might not be bullshit to them or to whatever else, but everywhere that I ever read about temperatures to heat press and timing and all that shit was way way off. Um, I found that high heat, short time worked way better because I was watching. You can watch like Duo and a lot of these like lure manufacturers will put up like little videos and shit, and it'll show them like hot press foiling baits, and their shit is typically boom done. Um, and and I started thinking, I was like, why are these guys that I'm reading about, whether they're from like Vietnam or India or the U.S., whatever? There's a lot of guys doing the foil stuff. They're like, oh, you put it on like 200 degrees, whatever, Celsius, Fahrenheit, whatever they're using, and hold it down for like 20 seconds or 12 seconds, 15 seconds. Crank that shit as high as it'll go and do it for like 5. And that shit looks better than any bait I've ever. Like, I've got dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of baits that I've tried to foil. And the heat was always too low. So I just said, y'all can eat a dick. This shit isn't working. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it like the pros do it, hot and fast. So I cranked the damn temperature up and pushed it on there for about 5 seconds and lifted it up. Lo and behold, it looks good. It looks good. Didn't melt my baits. Got in all the little nooks and crannies. I was happy. So it was actually kind of fun. It was actually kind of fun. So I think people who spray at 10 psi are also full of shit. I would agree. There's no room in this world for 10 psi airbrushing unless you're some dude that's trying to paint a mural on a toothpick. Dennis, I think I've got it, man. I say that and it won't work, but I think I'm pretty confident in my ability to foil with a hot stamp foil. I think I'm there. South Jersey, it kind of is. If you're hand applying it, doing it with a heat press is not terrible, especially when you're doing it on blanks that aren't incredibly important. Like if somebody sent me some prized, like rare plastic bait that they wanted me to foil, I would probably not feel so comfortable doing it, so I wouldn't melt their bait. But on these, it worked pretty good. I guess because I wasn't worried. Yeah, I'll show it to you, Dennis. It's kind of coppery. I mean, it's very coppery, I guess. Yes, that's copper, right? Rich leaving? Later. Oh, you said Rich. I thought you meant the other Rich. Hella. Later, Hella. Yes. I did hot stamp that one. That was my little project. That was my little project last week. It wasn't really a project. I was just I go on little benders where I'll walk past my little hot stamp thing and I'll say, "I'll give you another shot today," and I'll go fire it up and dick with it for about an hour and then go do something else. Later, South J. Craig Cole does some crazy shit with foil. You are correct. Marty, I've probably had it for about 4 years, and I've never been able to quite dial it in. Like I said, I was all my heat settings were wrong. They were too low. So all right, 249. Let me get off of here. I need to go drill these eyeballs out of this stupid Chad chat again, and then I'm gonna go possibly. It gets like I've been using it at like close to 400. I think I was set at like 390, 385, 380. Um, but the only other thing I'm thinking is this whole time these guys could have been talking about Celsius and not Fahrenheit for the temperatures. But I'm pretty sure I looked into that because that would be pretty dumb. But all right, let me go get this damn. We gotta get this damn thing done. Mr. Drip does do some clean foil work. Some of the best. Some of the best. All those Japanese dudes. If you want some foil work, that shell veneer shit, go look at Ganai. He does like big baits for offshore fishing, saltwater stuff. But he does that shell veneer with foil and shit. I would probably consider him the best in the world. Like I've watched a lot of guys do this shit, and like Craig, not to take anything away from Craig, but Craig relies on a computer for a lot of this shit. This Ganai dude in Japan is like 100% by hand. I think it's spelled Ginei, something like that. Um, yeah, something like that, Sean. Um, Shrink wrap foil. That would be interesting. Where you could just wrap it around your bait and then hit it with a torch and then like pull the. I mean, that's basically what the heat press does. Sean, if you can't find him, I'll send you a link to his website. He has a YouTube channel too, and it's amazing. Um, it's not amazing. It's just it's amazing to watch that dude do all that shit by hand. Um, but And I don't know how many baits but I just it's so hard to conceive like how that dude is so precise. Even if I was like, all right, I'm gonna take this whole week and I'm gonna make one bait and it's gonna be perfect. I couldn't take the whole. I couldn't. It wouldn't do me any good to take up that much time trying to make one bait perfect because I'd dick it up by trying to make it perfect. Like I would be better off trying to do it fast than trying to like be perfect. But you have to have like everything's got to be clean. Like all your tools have to be clean. All your tools have to be sharp. Everything has to be like a very certain way. Um, so the way I do shit, it's not set up for perfection. But those guys, they don't have dust in their house. They don't use old shitty X-Acto blades. Like when they're supposed to use a new one, they get a new one, and like even if it's like they make 10 cuts with a blade and they feel it's dull enough to get a new blade, they do that. Me, I'll use it until the damn tip breaks off. Um, exactly, AJ. So AJ, Nebraska anglers are on here. Do you know them? Build and seal 40 baits in 3 days. That's cranking them out. Still using one without a tip. Oh, I have lots without tips. What the hell is this? Oh. AJ, you want to buy this to paint? $1.50. What I paid for it. I know you sell these things like hotcakes. All right, let me go drill some eyes. Y'all have a good rest of your week. Those things don't sell. Wonder why that is, AJ. AJ, did I tell you about the striking resemblance in the striking resemblance to this bait? This Megabass? A lot of similarities. A lot of similarities. AJ, there's probably a reason for that. Treasure Knight, thank you for sticking around. Hope things are well in the UK. The Wiggle Griffin. But all right, I'm leaving for real this time. Y'all be good. Later, Insta. No hits on the curve. See, AJ, I thought the new flat looked because there was a picture I kept seeing on Facebook, and it was of the body clear. And the whole time I was seeing this ad, I was thinking it was a bling. And then I looked like at what I was actually looking at. I was like, oh, that's the new Sixth Sense thing. But I thought it was a damn bling. But what is the evergreen bait that it is taken from? Flat Force. Was that what Brian's bait was? I thought Brian ripped that one off first. Can you rip off a ripoff? Evergreen Flat Force. Flat Force 4. The Flat Force to me looks like a Yozuri Vibe that they stuck a bill in. Profile wise, I don't have the profile of the 6th Sense one in my brain yet. I haven't got hit with enough ads to have it ingrained into my fiber of my skull, but I'm sure it's coming. What is the name of the new one? Slat Borse? Blat Borse? Slat Source? Flat 4. Flat Finesse F4. It's pretty weak. All right. I'll go buy all those. Y'all go buy them out of those and let me know what you think. Gentlemen, take it easy. We'll talk again.